Peppa Pig has been a huge hit for over 20 years now, and it's still going strong. But think about it, 20 years, and Peppa's life is pretty much the same, right? It makes you wonder, what would happen if time actually moved forward in Peppa's world? What would that even look like? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Let's get started. If the time really moved forward in Peppa Pig, the most obvious change would be the character's age. Picture this: George setting aside his dinosaur toy for the latest dinosaur-themed video game, or Peppa not playing in the muddy puddle anymore. They could even have a special episode where Peppa turns 15, navigating the fun and awkwardness of being a teenager, maybe going to a concert, trying out some sparkly makeup, and even having her first little crush. And just imagine Daddy Pig finally retiring, buying that boat he's always talked about, and spending sunny afternoons fishing. It really makes you wonder, wouldn't it be interesting to see Peppa and her family step into these brand new stages of life? Along with the character's age, their appearance would also change. After all, the show has been running since 2004, and if time moved forward, Peppa wouldn't look the same. Imagine a taller Peppa, almost the same size as Mummy Pig, with more modern and stylish outfits. Maybe a trendy pair of jeans or a dress with a fashionable twist. Would she wear accessories like earrings or other jewelry? And what about George? He'd surely get a dinosaur tattoo, wouldn't he? An updated look for Peppa would certainly captivate not only children, but also the older audience that grew up with her. New protagonist. If time actually moved forward, the show might need a new face for younger viewers to connect with. That's where Alexander, Peppa's little cousin, could step into the spotlight. While Peppa grows into her 20s, Alexander could become the new star, bringing back those fun, simple adventures we all enjoy. He'd have his own group of friends and explore the world from a kid's perspective, while Peppa could become a cool older cousin, offering helpful advice now and then. Could you imagine watching a show called Alex Pig? It's definitely something to think about. Marriage. Now let's talk about marriage. In the episode In the Future, Peppa makes it clear she plans to marry Pedro Pony, but before the big day, we'd need to see how their relationship develops. Imagine sweet moments like their first date. If Mrs. Cow and Mr. Bull's wedding was an emotional event, what could we say about Peppa's wedding? The ceremony would be grand, filled with beloved friends and unforgettable moments. Susie Sheep would be the maid of honor alongside Danny Dog, and Daddy Pig would tear up as he walked his daughter down the aisle. But for all of this to happen, time needs to move forward in the show. After all, the characters need to grow up for stories like this to unfold. But one thing is for sure, it would be really interesting to see who marries whom. New sibling. It's been announced that Peppa and George will be getting a new sibling. This is a pretty significant event, as the family has been the same for so long. Imagine how Peppa and George will react to having a little sibling. Peppa, who is usually the big sister, will now have an even bigger role, and George won't be the baby of the family anymore. We can expect to see new dynamics within the Pig family as they all adjust to the new arrival. There will likely be episodes focusing on Peppa and George, learning to be good older siblings, helping Mummy and Daddy Pig, and all the fun and challenges that come with a new baby in the house. It will be interesting to see how this new character is introduced, and how it changes the everyday life we're used to seeing in Peppa Pig's world. This new addition is sure to bring a fresh wave of stories and adventures for the whole Pig family. If time progressed in the world of Peppa Pig, the characters would inevitably embark on different career paths. Imagine Peppa, with her bossy yet caring nature, perhaps becoming a teacher, or even running her own playgroup for younger kids. Susie Sheep, with her love for dressing up, could definitely be a fashion designer, or maybe even a stylist for famous cartoon characters. George, still fascinated by prehistoric creatures, might become an archaeologist, digging up real dinosaur bones. And for Edmund Elephant, I think we all know that he will definitely be a scientist. One of the most heartfelt reasons time might stay still in Peppa Pig is to keep our beloved older characters, like Grandpa Pig, with us. If time moved forward, the parents would age, and we'd eventually have to say goodbye to Grandpa and Granny Pig. It's a tough part of life to accept. Mummy Pig would surely miss her father deeply, and maybe Peppa's family would even move into Grandpa and Granny's empty house for a while. Plus, someone would need to look after those chickens Granny Pig loves. It would be a very emotional time, bringing tears, but also sweet memories of those we cherish. College. Okay, imagine Peppa and her friends all grown up and heading off to college. Maybe Peppa would study something like agriculture, since she loves muddy puddles so much. Susie Sheep might go into fashion, always having an eye for style. George could be really into dinosaurs and study archaeology. Rebecca Rabbit, with her big family, might choose business or economics. They'd be dealing with things like exams, dorm rooms, and maybe even part-time jobs. It would be a whole new set of adventures for them. A big step away from their usual school days, but still with that familiar Peppa Pig charm. New characters. As time moved forward in Peppa Pig's world, we'd likely see the arrival of new characters to reflect the different life stages. For example, as Peppa and her friends went to college or started working, they'd meet new classmates and colleagues with their own unique personalities and backgrounds. If they started families, we'd be introduced to a new generation of piglets, sheep, bunnies, and other animal children, each bringing fresh dynamics to the group. These new characters could introduce different perspectives and stories, adding layers to the familiar world of Peppa Pig and keeping things interesting as the original characters grow and evolve. Alright, let's think about how Peppa's world itself might change if time moved forward. The familiar little village of Top Hills could transform into a bustling modern town with taller buildings and busy streets. We might even see cool new technology like flying cars or drones becoming a normal part of their lives. Imagine Peppa and George exploring a big city, experiencing new things and meeting all sorts of different people. This change in their surroundings would really show how much time has passed, not just for the characters, but for their whole world. Vampire. Now, there's one character whose timelessness might become a bit obvious. Madame Gazelle. We all know her little secret. If everyone else is aging, she'd either have to move on or find a way to keep her vampire identity under wraps. It would feel a bit strange to see all the grandparents getting older, while Madame Gazelle stays exactly the same. It would definitely leave viewers wondering about her story as time goes on. Jail time. We all know about the shady personality of Mr. Fox, and if the time passed in Peppa Pig, we might even see jail time for him. Mr. Fox's shop is full of questionable goods, but in the future, it wouldn't go unnoticed. Freddy Fox, who dreams of becoming a police officer, might face the tough decision of arresting his own father. Or perhaps Mr. Fox could redeem himself and change his ways. Imagine an episode where young Freddy has to make a difficult choice to prove he's worthy of becoming a law enforcement officer. It would be a valuable lesson about right and wrong, showing young viewers that stealing is never the answer. Name change. One of the most intriguing aspects of the show is the mystery surrounding names. As you might have noticed, adults don't have first names. When the kids grow up, they lose their childhood names and start being referred to as Miss or Mr. If time passed, Peppa would no longer be Peppa and would become Mrs. Pig. This was already hinted at in the episode Sea Treasure, when George finds a bottle signed by Reggie Rabbit, who is revealed to be Grandpa Rabbit. This shows that characters lose their names as they age. Can you imagine Peppa not being called by her name anymore? So this was all about what would happen if time really passed in Peppa Pig. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.